Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Let's go to Los Angeles. For today's daily challenge, we will begin with 3 motorways, and then there was something about bridges. I don't remember. I looked at the thing, and then it immediately left my brain. What's the thing with bridges? Oh, the speed limit is decreased on them. Okay. So we should maybe not use them for very longly. Good to know. Hello, Lacey is bored. Samurai Sam was here first. It is shapes and colors time once again. This is an empty can of Fresca. Where did my non-empty can of Coke Zero go? There did my non-empty can of Coke Zero go. Hello, my non-empty can of Coke Zero. You're a lovely beverage. I'll put you right there. All right. This red will come down along this way. This other red can go in that way. Actually, hold on. We can do this better. We can do this better. Not even gonna be worth changing the I'm out of road. Hold on. Let me get all of this back. Send the yellows there. Send the reds there. Better. Much better. Be even more much better once we adjust the microphone so that I can actually see. Oh, God. Oh, my eye. I got cat dander in it. How dare I? All right. These yellows go this way. That'll be fine. Even with you see the slowdown here on the bridge as this car goes out and it just doesn't accelerate. But this is such a short trip that this is basically fine. This up here is gross. All right, we started with 3 motorways. This is not going to be a motorway forever. This is going to be a bridge very soonly, but you know, we don't have bridge. I only had the one and I used it already, so Tiny Tinky Motorway number 1 will exist for the moment, and that is about all that can be said for it. Oh, God, hold on, I have to sneeze. I sneezed. Ow. You'd think that would make me feel better. It's not necessarily true, but okay, let's cut this corner here and restructure our reds once more, because what we want to do ultimately is grab these 2 blues to do exactly that, snake themselves up this way. That'll be good. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Oh, God. I remember watching Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat as a tiny baby child and hearing that song and then playing Mario and realizing that the Super Mario Invincibility music sounds like the opening fastly sung bit. I don't know music terms. The opening bit to What's the Buzz? Tell me what's happening. And now, every time, for the last, let's ballpark it at 15 years that I have heard. It's probably longer than that, actually. Yeah. For the last 25 years. God, I'm old. Oh, I'm old. For the last 25 plus years of my life, whenever I hear the Super Mario Invincibility music, the thing that goes through my head is, what's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Which is such a niche reference. But, you know, why are you watching Good Morning Mini Motorways if not for the occasional observation that the Super Mario Invincibility music shares some similarities to the song What's the Buzz? Tell Me What's a-Happenin' from Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Is that what that's from, or is that from Jesus Christ Superstar? Now that I've said that, I don't remember. Which makes this digression even more stupid and pointless. Sam! I probably should make an effort generally, and perhaps even in this specific case, to know things about things independent of my friend's knowledge. But at the same time, I just want to go, Sam, you're the Jesus guy. Which one of these things is right? I don't know if Sam's seen either of these musicals. I don't even know if Okay, it's called the Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's probably a Yeah, okay. All right. Now that I say it, I think it's from Jesus Christ Superstar. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to Google what's the buzz. Tell me what's a happening. And that's going to go. Okay. It is from Jesus Christ Superstar. Thank you. And now, because F it, we're probably going to get copyright struck anyway, we present the YouTube upload of What's the Buzz. Tell me what's a happening. Hopefully without an ad. Is there going to be an ad here? There is not. Wonderful.
Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Why should you want to know?
Yeah, it's right there. You heard it. You heard it, damn it.
Don't you mind about the future? Don't you try to think ahead. Save tomorrow for tomorrow. Think about today instead. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? I can give you facts and figures. Even give you plans.
And now it is stuck in your head for the rest of time. Maybe. Possibly. Who's to say? How much Mario do you play on a daily basis? Will you remember this? Who's to say? But now it is there. It is established. I'm not crazy. Well, okay, let's not go that far. But I have some basis in observable reality. Sort of. All right. So this yellow and this red have both gone circular, and they both only have their original starting complement of 2 houses serving them, which seems bad, honestly. Let's see here. It just occurs to me that I'm not 100% sure that the web browser went out over the thing. Y'all heard that, right? Just gonna play it one more time and check my levels. Okay, good. Oh, thank God. Just had a brief moment of terrified panic at the possibility that I was coming off like I was definitely coming off like a crazy person, but, you know, a crazier than usual person. Would have been bad. Would have ended poorly. Oh, let's see here. Man, what are we gonna do about these, awfuls here? I don't know. Let's take all of these. Samurai Sam would like to remember Ed Ferreira, or perhaps Ferrara. That's a guy. Ed Ferrara was Vince Russo's right-hand man when Vince Russo was the head writer for the WWF and later WCW. And he was not good at it, but damn did Vince Russo like him. And there was a point in time there where anything Vince Russo touched turned to gold. By which I mean Vince Russo happened to be the head writer when Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock became megastars, and he got lucky. He got exceedingly lucky. Not as lucky as, say, Vince McMahon or WWE writ large, because let's be honest with ourselves, WWE writ large is still basically coasting off of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin having been megastars a good 25 years later. But Vince Russo was the head writer of the WWF at a time when Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock became megastars, and therefore had what seemed at the time like a plausible argument for being the reason the WWF was making a fuckload of money. In retrospect, it turns out that this was because The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin both became megastars at this time, but I digress. So Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara wanted a bunch of money, and Vince McMahon, in one of his rare, totally smart, you can absolutely see and agree with what this guy was doing decisions, told them to pound sand, and so they went to WCW. It turns out they were not world-changing wrestling geniuses. They were, in fact, stupid dipshits. And one of their stupid dipshit ideas was the following. I know I've told this story, but F it, it was a while ago. So Ed Ferrara, among his many foibles and faults as a person, did not care for Jim Ross. And listen, Jim Ross, not a perfect human. None of us are. It is worth noting, Jim Ross is almost universally regarded as the best professional wrestling commentator there's ever been, just in terms of like on-air talent as an announcer. And Ed Ferrara did not care for Jim Ross as an on-air talent and announcer. He thought that his southern drawl was hokey. So Ferrara tried to replace Ross as the lead announcer of Raw a whole bunch of times, and none of those ever stuck. And he was bitter and spiteful and angry about stuff. And as bitter, spiteful, angry people tend to do when promoted to places of power where they will not have to be answering to the people with whom they have grudges, Ed Ferrara decided to take his grudge out on Jim Ross. With Jim Ross, he took that grudge out on international television. As you do. Ed Ferrara, legendary comic mastermind and great noble person that he is, performed the character Oklahoma. Oklahoma was a fat guy with a southern drawl who wore a black hat and spoke with a lisp because of his Bell's palsy. This was supposed to be funny, you see, because Jim Ross is a fat guy with a southern accent who occasionally has difficulty speaking because of his Bell's palsy. I know whenever I wish to make fun of a person, I always go for their crippling, life-changing medical situation. That is the best way to make me look good. And as if that wasn't enough, Oklahoma, who, listen, Ed Ferrara was not exactly the smallest dude, but Oklahoma was Ed Ferrara in a fat suit. Oklahoma fought for, and I don't remember if he won, but he certainly competed for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. This was at a time when it was held by Medusa, who was a woman, because if there's one other thing we all love in our professional wrestling, it's when dudes beat up women. I don't have a great many good things to say about Ed Ferrara. He was generally not good for the professional wrestling business. It did not suit his talents well, by which I mean he did not have talents, and he was in it. So, yeah. I'm sure he went on to do other things. I honestly don't know any of those things. I know, that story of Ed Ferrara, and that is about it. Let's check his Wikipedia page here, see if there's anything I've horribly missed. Edward Ferrara, born November 22, 1966, is an American retired professional wrestler, writer, and agent. Oh, good, he retired. Of course. This makes sense. He went to TNA. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? I have put in the chat, by the way. Well, first of all, hold on. We should probably do something about the dying businesses before we continue making fun of Ed Ferrara. Let's take these 3 things here. Close that. Bring this up here. So the 3 of you serve that. The 4 of you serve that. And the 1, 2, 3 of you take motorway number 4. Serve that. You hop onto that. Go over there. Okay. Everybody's cool now. I have put in the chat, and I'll try to remember to put it in the description of the YouTube video as well, a link from Wikipedia that is Ed Ferrara performing the character Oklahoma. Just in case you thought maybe there was a chance it wasn't just one man taking out his petty grudge at Jim Ross on international television. No, 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 friends. It was most certainly that. One man, one petty grudge, Jim Ross, international television, the whole shebang. Let's see here. This red circle's mad, which I understand. I can appreciate your anger here. One weird little red circle. Let's make that do that. What are we gonna do about this red circle? A wonderful question to which I presently do not have an answer. Let's clear out this down to here. I think what we should do is have this whole bucket of red right here. You see this whole bucket of red? What if all of this also came over this way? And we just kind of awkward stapled that into that. Can we pretend that that's going to be good and helpful and worthwhile for our time? I think that's going to be good, helpful, and worthwhile for our time. The 3 of you can come on down this way. Incidentally, that does mean that you have to... There you go. Okay. And now with that having been done, we can take... doot and doot, so as to free up zoot, and we can clear this like so. So you 2 go that away, use gums here, you do that. Okay, everything's coming up Goog House, sort of. Not necessarily really, but you know, sort of. Here's another green, go up here, serve that. This green circle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down here. Okay. Has everything calmed down? Everything's calmed down. Sorry, sometimes people post things in chat and they make me chuckle. Turns out I think I'm funny, which, thank God, because somebody has to. God, imagine if nobody well, okay. Yeah. Aw. There are 2 sentences about Ed Ferrara's creative work in TNA. 1, he returned in 2009. 2, he left in 2010. I can tell you from vague memory that 2009 to 2010 was not exactly a banner time for Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, but it is worth noting that there never really was a banner time for TNA. They've had several holy shit we're gonna dies, and then the occasional, hey, we're doing pretty good, let's shoot ourselves in the foot! And, well, they recently had a, hey, we're doing pretty good, let's shoot ourselves in the foot, so... good for them, I suppose. They keep getting bailed out by bigger companies. The most recent one to bail them out was WWE, so it'll be very interesting to see who the next one they need to bail them out is. At this point, they might wind up being the official professional wrestling company of the Trump administration, which would be a hell of a fall from grace for WWE, I tell you. Anyway, let's see here. So this blue circle, oh, you're a blue circle. Well, that'll go an awful long way toward explaining why you're mad. Here, let's steal these 2 blues from you. And actually, hold on. Let's not do that. Instead, we have these and this. And yeah, you'll just motorway number 6 yourself, and you'll go over there, and this is going to be awkward and bad. And listen, eventually this is all going to fall apart and die. But for the moment, it seems fine, right? Everything's totally A-OK ski. Sort of. By which I mean not, but, you know, details. Friends, it's all about details. Oh, Lord. I have nothing further to say. Let's clean up the internet tabs I've had to open for this episode. I have nothing further to say about Ed Ferrara, and I don't believe we're going to listen to the rest of What's the Buzz from Jesus Christ Superstar. I have, at this point, either proven my point or just come off like a crazy person, which both things... It could be both. It could honestly be both. I just made this connection up here so that this dark blue house can send its car along this way to support this business, because, you know, that's a thing that needs to happen. Don't necessarily think that's going to matter overly much, but... Hi, why are you mad? I'm sorry, you have too many houses. I realize that they're all halfway across the map and stapled to weird shit. You have too many houses to actually be mad about stuff. You have 7 over here, and you have 11 houses going to you. Now, granted, you do have a massive, horrible clusterfuck right at your on-ramp, but... Okay, there's not really a but there. That's just a problem that I'm not addressing. Let's go over here and complain about this red square. Why are all of the red squares mad? You both have 4 houses. You have 5 houses now. Fuck you. God. I was going to say, hold on, it hasn't... Has it actually been... I was going to complain about Sam. I didn't realize Sam had accidentally triggered that Nightbot quote. And then I was going to complain and say, wait, I didn't reference the horrors, but no, I did in fact call WWE the official professional wrestling company of the Trump administration because, well, they are. 2,809 commuters over a number of days is not a great score, honestly. It's top 20% in the world. It is not anywhere near as good as Samurai Sam. So... go ahead and drop those slams in the chat if you would be so kind. In the meantime, while we're doing that, let's find our friend the Wordle. Hello, the Wordle. Oh, the Wordle today cannot be horror because horror is a 6-letter word. Yeah, Sam put up like 45,000 points in Time Guesser. That's a lot of points. The Wordle today is olive, obviously. No? Wow. I was reliably informed that it is always olive. Let's see here. The Wordle today is trade. It could be trade. It's not, but it... Wow. I wasn't expecting to learn nothing there. The Wordle today is... Spume. I'm sorry? We're just going to go over to yet another internet tab here and quickly... Hold on. Spume is froth or foam, especially that found on waves. I see. Okay. Well, now we've learned a thing. The Wordle today is seen. Could be seen. It's seen. Okay. A forgotten donut is coming in with the raid. Good morning, Donut. Or good evening to those of you in the Down Under Times. Happy Vegemite is here as well. Thank you, A Forgotten Donut, for the raid. We have done the daily challenge. We have wordled, and now it is time for time guessing, where we try to figure out where and when we are in places and times. I do like that raid emote. That is a damn fine raid emote. All right. We are, this appears to be the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, and it's when it was being constructed. So, let's see here. When was the Gateway Arch being constructed? I have no idea. Let's say, well, first of all, we know basically where we are because the Gateway Arch is just outside St. Louis, Missouri. Let's see here. So, Gateway Arch National Park. It's probably where the Gateway Arch. Yeah, that's probably a decent indication of where we might be at any given moment. Okay, so we are, say, there-ish in 1936. Six? Nah. That sounds about something. 1936. 1965. Holy shit. I did not realize that the Gateway Arch was that damn modern. Well, there goes any chance I had of beating Sam at something. Oh, God. I glanced at this sign and thought it was for Dr. Richard Kimball. You know, the guy from The Fugitive. It turns out that it's not the guy from The Fugitive. Doesn't actually help me to think that this is Harrison Ford's character from The Fugitive. Let's see here. So, we can get high class. Oh, that's Drapers. Okay. I thought these were poop garments for rich infants, but no. So this is Alibi & Co. Limited. They'll lie to the cops about where you were. Nice of them. Should probably actually, read things properly. Or we could welcome Indigo Dingo Pup. Thank you, Indigo Dingo Pup, for being here in the chat and dropping that lovely little emote right there. All right, let's see here. Ow. The idea you could just know where shit is crazy. I also wouldn't recognize my street if I saw it at the wrong angle, but, thankfully I usually see it at the right angles. I'm perpendicular to things. This geometry joke. Okay. Okay. So this card here is by JP Laxa of. Does that say England? Does that say Bengal? Senegal? Oh, let's see here. This is Raishan. You have P.O. boxes. We've seen colonial blankets. Is this like... Is this like British-occupied India? Are we looking at, India? Oh, hi. Okay, well, I got there with the colonialism eventually. All right, so this is Nairobi, Kenya. A Forgotten Donut has weighed in, thinks that this is probably somewhere on Earth. I think you're right about that. You're on the right track. We will now draw a circle, which A Forgotten Donut is reasonably sure encompasses where the fuck we are. Oh, God. All right, Nairobi, Kenya. And Kenya's here. Oh, right, there's Nairobi. Okay. Which it turns out is, in fact, on Earth. So we're going to stick a pin in Nairobi, Kenya in 1964? Sure. 1964. It was 1943. I'm bad at years. Okay. Next. Man, if I was a person who recognized world leaders, this would be much easier. Because you're probably important folk. And yet, it would be hilarious if we opened Time Guesser one. I feel like they did that on April Fool's Day last year. Am I making that up? I don't know. All right, so this is presumably Victor Ponta. He's the president of something. He sure is the president of something. Or perhaps he's running for president of something. Maybe this is campaigning to be the president of something. Possible. Anyway. This feels pretty recent, given vaguely modern cell phonery happening here. As to the where of this, whoo, boy. Man, there aren't even flags being waved for me to not recognize. Okay. So apparently this is the nation of stop racing, there's a disaster on track, which, okay. I don't know, is this part of your flag? Oh, Lord. Gorgino Alatura de Victor Ponta. Okay. So these are the gorgeous elocutors of Victor Ponta. That doesn't help me. Okay. Okay. Man. This is not a flag. This is an embroidery pattern. Yeesh. And again, I'll say yeesh. Satis, Salage, Sibius. I got nothing, friends. I got absolutely nothing. This is a bit of an older phone, so maybe not like 2025, but like 2018. This could be 2018. All right, so we're going to say that it's 2018. Where are we going to say this is? Wonderful fucking question. I'm just going to pick a country in Western South America. This is, all right, let's pick a South American country whose flag I can't immediately visualize. I think I know what Venezuela's flag looks like. I know what Brazil's flag looks like. Could this be Peru? Could it be Bolivia? Yeah, fuck it. We're in La Paz, Bolivia in 2018. Obviously. This is one of those where I'm not even hemispherically confident, so turns out I was right to not be hemispherically confident because it's in Romania. Should have given more thought to the accent marks on the Okay. All right. Yep. When you see a Romance language and you're like, it's not Spanish, it's not Portuguese, it's not Italian, it's not French. It's like, oh, right, Romanian. Romance. How about that? All right. So this is Michael. He has gold brilliant urine, which it's not something I'd brag about, but, I'm not Michael, I suppose. Gold brilliant urine is one of the titles of the episode. Oh, God. Okay. Let's see here. You have Erzuga Grossmarkt Bonn. Bonn is, Bonn's a city in Switzerland, isn't it? Or Germany? I think I know that. Oh, God. All right. Yeah, Bonn. I've heard of Bonn. Not just as half of a candy that Peg Bundy likes. I almost called her Peg Bondi, which no, unacceptable. Oh, let's see here. I think it's in Switzerland. Could be wrong about that, but Switzerland is tiny enough. There's Bern, which is what I could have been thinking of. Oh, no. Bonn, are you actually in Germany? Or even worse, are you somewhere other than Switzerland or Germany? Or even worse, are you like, oh, there you are. Oh, thank God. All right, I found Bonn. So, yeah, we're in there. As to the when of this, wonderful question. This feels fairly modernish with the jacketry and all that going on. Let's say 1950s. Yeah, don't move the thing. I'm so glad I didn't move it to the 50s. It turns out to be 1972. All right. We're almost going to get one right. That was the closest we've come to getting things actually correct. But, okay, so this is the educational radio station of Zeep. Nice. We've got an international summit, which is apparently happening in Mexico, given the presence and centrality of what appears to be a scrunched up Mexican flag. So, can I recognize any of these fuckers? Nope, and nope. So, I'm a person who recognizes the Mexican flag. Come on. We've got the Mexican flag and an American flag, and this is either Italy or Ireland, and this is probably France. And this over here is one of the Scandinavias. This is like Norway or Denmark or something, and I think this is Iraq. Might be. It could be wrong. This is also a Europe of some kind. This is Sweden. This is whichever one of the Scandinavias this wasn't. This is Switzerland. This is Great Britain. This is, hey, you remember when I said that this was either Italy or Ireland? Well, this is either Ireland or Italy. So it's got that going for it. Yeah, we've got the Ussur, which is actually a helpful time hint, and we've got all manner of stuff here. It's flags on flags on flags and flags. One of the ones I said was a Europe was actually Venezuela. So, also we've got, one of these is Australia and the other one isn't. Oh, right, because the French flag is just the Italian and Irish flag, but with different stripage. So it's, yeah, because remember Nicolas Cage. The scene in the boat in the movie where Nicolas Cage is an arms dealer. That's how you tell the... Oh, God. Okay. All right. So we're in Mexico City in, I don't know, man. 19 Don't Move the Thing. Let's once again try 19 Don't Move the Thing. Okay. We are in Mexico City, Mexico in 19 Don't Move the Thing. It turns out that we were in Mexico City, Mexico in 1957. That's an actual good final score. Well, it's an actual good score in one challenge. Pay no mind to the dashed line crossing the entire Earth. No mind at all. 31,672 is not a particularly good time guessing score. For today's Immaculate Grid, we need Mariners, Cardinals, Mets, Twins, Dudes What's only played for one team, and Dudes What had 200 or more wins in their career. A Seattle Mariner who played for the New York Mets is Mike Cameron. Let's see, a Seattle Mariner who has only ever been a Seattle Mariner is Julio Rodriguez. A New York Met who amassed 200 victories in his career is indeed Bang Pedro Martinez. Let's see here. A New York Met who was also a St. Louis Cardinal is Jason Isringhausen. That's a pull for you. St. Louis Cardinal who has only ever been a St. Louis Cardinal is Mason Wynn. I think Mason Wynn counts for the square. Hold on. Is Mason Wynn not debuted? Am I misspelling Mason? It's Mason with a Y. God damn you, Mason with a Y Wynn. What in the fuck? What in the ever-loving fuck is that? Okay. Alright, fine. Mason Wynn. A St. Louis Cardinal who has only ever been a St. Louis Cardinal. Oh, and let's see here. A dude who amassed 200 or more victories in his career while only pitching for one team. Ooh. This is probably an old-timey fella, but... Huh. Could it be like... Well, I said old-timey fella. Could it be Bob Feller? Was he a career Guardian? I don't think so. Let's see here. Nolan Ryan pitched for Motorways, Randy Johnson, Tom Glavine pitched, Greg Maddux pitched, John Smoltz pitched for Motorways. Yeah, every good modern pitcher who fits the square has pitched for multiple teams, except Clayton Kershaw. I could say Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw's a motherfucker, though. God damn it. All right. It's motherfuckers hours. Clayton Kershaw, due to amassed 200 or more wins while only pitching for one team. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Come fuck you, Clayton Kershaw. Anyway, we must now name some Minnesota Twins. A Minnesota Twin who, good God, I don't know any of these. Let's just name some Minnesota Twins and see what comes out, huh? James Howard Thom was a Twin, but neither Cardinal nor Mariner nor pitcher. Brad Radke was a Twin, but didn't amass 200 or more wins in his career. Oh, Bob Feller was a career Guardian. That's good to know. A Twin who was also a Mariner is everyday Eddie Guardado. Was Rick Aguilera a Cardinal? I know he was a Cub. Did Rick Aguilera pitch for the Cardinals? I feel like I could talk myself into that, but I don't think it's correct. And yet, I've talked myself into it. And it was not correct. God damn it. Okay. Sadness and failure. A Minnesota Twin who amassed 200 wins in his career is not Johan Santana. His career was not long enough. I don't think Scott Erickson was good enough. Brad Radke probably wasn't good enough. The Twins had any good modern starters who I'm forgetting? Oh, Bartolo Colon was a Twin for a minute and a half. There you go. Bartolo Colon, Minnesota Twin, who also had 200 wins in a season. A Twin who was also a Cardinal is Sonny Gray. I see. Okay. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. For those of you watching on YouTube, I was able to export a new episode of Hades 2, so we should be back on track, roughly, with our upload schedule. Hades 2 will resume later today on YouTube. There will be Cyberpunks and Hades as per the usual. For those of you on Twitch, we will be back tonight for more Cyberpunk 2077 as we narrow down the things and people we actually care about and focus on those and possibly eventually meet Hanako at Embers at some point. I don't know. At this point, we might just play Cyberpunk 2077 until literally 2077. But probably not. We will play it tonight, though. See you then. Bye-bye.